Alright guys, we're back with another Omnibus review, and today we're looking at Spider-Man Miles Morales Omnibus, or if you're getting the newer version of this, it's pretty much the Miles Morales Spider-Man by Brian Bendis Volume 2. It depends on which version you pick up. It's the same exact book, they just kind of rebranded it. That way it was easier to grab Volumes 1 and 2 of Miles when they reissued it, but it doesn't really matter which version you get because it's the same exact book. Alright, and so this collects the issues Spider-Man 1 to 21, because at the time of all new, everything new, brand new, whatever you want to call it, Miles basically took the Spider-Man tagline, while Peter stayed with Amazing Spider-Man. So you have issues 1 to 21, you also have Spider-Man 234 to 240, which is just continuing Miles' numbering from the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, and then you also have Spider-Gwen 16 to 18. So this is a smaller omnibus than the last one, and it is when Miles transfers to the 616 universe. And before we jump back into review, I did want to talk about an awesome guy who runs an awesome little business called Omni Bookmarks. And this guy is on Instagram. You can check him out right now. I'm showing you the page as we are talking. And he does phenomenal work if you're a big fan of bookmarks. And like me, I hate folding my pages. Even just a little turn on the edge really kind of irritates me. So these bookmarks have been my favorite new thing, and I love switching the bookmarks mattering what I'm reading, whether it be manga, comics, indie, Marvel, DC, whatever it is. I like to switch it up, and as you can see, he has made some extraordinary ones for me. He works very well with most people, and he can make custom designs for you, but he has so many badass ones too online. You gotta check those out. So this is not a paid sponsor. This guy's just awesome. I want to promote him. Please go check it out. If you want a bookmark for your omnibuses, look no further. These are high quality, good ass shit. So this one starts off with Miles waking up, and he is now Spider-Man in the 616 universe. See, the 616 universe almost had like a soft reboot, and now he's with the other Spider-Man, like Peter Parker, and that's the more adult Spider-Man, while he's the teenage Spider-Man. On top of that, his mom is back, and big spoilers, if you haven't read the original series, the first omnibus of this, there's major things that happen to his mom, so it's a little weird to see her just come back. And I think, if I'm gonna be honest, I think it resets some of the emotional damage that Miles went through and grew as a character, yet he still knows what happens, kinda, and his uncle died in the last book but is kinda back. So sometimes when they mix continuity, it gets really weird, and this is no exception. This is pretty fucking weird. Anyway, let's just move on, because I can't really answer what is part of the universe and what happened last time and what they remember, because they kind of just talk about it quickly of what they recall happened in the Ultimate Universe. If I'm being honest, these adventures aren't nearly as fun as I hoped for. It starts off fun enough with Miles fighting against a huge demon entity and then being just that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And soon enough, he has to deal with being spied on by Jessica Jones because his mother and grandmother think he's up to something, and his grandmother hires Jessica Jones to find out what Miles is doing. So Miles has to range from his school life with Genki and now Gold Balls, and they become roommates. For Miles, he also has to just deal with kind of having a little bit of a crush on a character. Well, we also have to deal with the racism, which I think is actually badly done here, but in that time period, a lot of people online started to make a big deal about characters replacing other characters and their different color and background. Anyway, it's just not done very well here. I'm on the side of I love legacy characters and I love when they replace old ones, but the racism here and comparing it to being fat, I get that they're two teenagers, but it just didn't work very well. And then, of course, Miles is sadly brought into the Civil War II storyline, and that did no one favors, especially Miles. And on top of that, we do get probably the worst arc, in my opinion. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this is also in the book in the beginning. Spider-Man 2. Now, Spider-Man, the little mini event they did, was really fun in the first omnibus because it was Miles from the Ultimate Universes meets Peter Parker from the 616, and this made for a fun adventure. Now that Miles is part of the 616, it's just a team-up, and the team-up isn't all that great. Yes, we do get answers who Miles Morales is in the main 616 universe, because this Miles that we have now is transported from the Ultimate Universe. So we get the actual Miles Morales that's in 616, and it's nice that it's a totally different character than you might expect, but besides that, this event is just kind of boring if I'm being honest. Now I will say, that none of this is terrible, and I do think that the last arc does get better, with Bombshell being a big part of it, and the very last issue of this entire omnibus is actually really well done and heartwarming. See, Miles has to deal with a disease, or actually an infection, that is trying to kill him and his body can't fight back, and that is similar to what happened to Brian Michael Bendis, the writer of this, a few months prior. He almost died of a bacterial infection that nearly killed him, so it works really well here because you actually get the emotions of someone who went through a terrible thing like that in a kid who's even sadder. But I have to say, nice art aside and nice finish, this was just an okay volume. I think there's a decent amount of adventure here, and overall it's fun enough, but overall it's also just a weaker volume than the first by quite a big margin. Miles' Ultimate Adventures were just so much more fun and exciting to me, and this failed to live up to that. So I think it's decent, but as far as I can go, it's like kind of just the middle of the road for me. I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. I think it's okay. If you can get it for 50 bucks, it's not bad. And if you like Miles, you might like this a little bit more. But the first volume is much stronger, and I do recommend that. If you haven't seen my review, go check that out. I highly recommend that one for all Spidey fans. This one I'd pretty much suggest for only people who are interested in Miles. This probably won't change your mind if I'm being honest. I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, hit that like button. That's always awesome. I got more stuff like this coming out. And if you love it, hit the subscribe button and come back. There's good stuff here. Hope you guys have a great day. And let me know what you thought of these two omnibuses. And then I'm going to review, hopefully, the next one once I buy it. I got to save some money for it. Hope you guys enjoy and have a wonderful day.